Mr. Speaker, the Argyle International Airport, God's willing, will be completed this year and ready for operation. This massive historic project, the largest in the history of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, will forever be a premier exemplar of our nation's creativity, faith in our capacity to achieve monumental tasks, a most extraordinary interface with nature in the shaping of, not the spoiling, our physical environment in the interest of our people's development, and a noble manifestation of regional and international solidarity. In this and more, Almighty God has held our hands and blessed us. To him we give the glory. The voluminous earthworks to prepare the airport site began on August the 13th, 2008. The critics then, who are the same critics today, asserted that our government had embarked upon an impossible dream which would never be achieved. I personally was excoriated in the most derisive and dismissive terms. Some of the kinder denunciations of me, Mr. Speaker, were that I was a Vincentian Don Quixote, tilting at imaginary windmills in a veritable state of permanent hallucination. That I was completely devoid of any sense of reality in pursuing this presumed folly, which they insisted was unachievable. Over the past 6.5 years, these critics in Parliament and outside would oscillate between this or that reason for their unimaginative and wrong-headed opposition. Never once in this honorable House have the opposition, the parliamentary opposition, supported our government in appropriating monies for the airport's construction. Monies which were always grants or soft loans, earmarked solely for the airport's construction. On the eve of the 2010 general elections, they shifted their stance somewhat to accommodate the gathering political winds. But after their electoral defeat, they again resumed their full throttle opposition, as manifested in their parliamentary vote against the Supplementary Appropriation Bill of 2012, which contained one purpose: the appropriation of monies to complete the airport's construction. And nobody can doubt that one, because we didn't have a voice vote. We had a division in the House. And every member of the opposition said no. When I came for the approximately $200 million to complete. Mr. Speaker, I invite the journalists to check the Hansard. Mr. Speaker, I am duty-bound to deliver to this honorable House a summary progress on the Argyle International Airport project as at December the 31st, 2014, in respect of both the airside works and the landside facilities. The airside works include principally the earthworks, the Yambu River and other drainage systems, the pavement works, the airfield lighting, related activities connected to the design unit, the quality control systems, wind studies, and the regulatory oversight of the Eastern Caribbean Civil Aviation Authority, ECA. The landside facilities include mainly the passenger terminal building, the control tower and navigational aids, the aircraft rescue and firefighting station and equipment, the cargo terminal, the aircraft hangar and fixed-based operations, the airport access and circulation roads and parking lot, other access roads, and landscaping. On each of these specific matters, the International Airport Development Company, IADC, has accomplished much more over the past year, and given its programmed works for 2015, Our government has been assured that the airport's construction would be completed for opening before the end of 2015. We accept these assurances as reasonable. In addition to the airside works and landside facilities are other vital matters on which good progress has been made in 2014. These include centrally environmental issues such as the relocation of the petroglyphs, the process for that, blasting operations, dust management, and land use planning, marketing and management of the airport, communication and promotion, and the project cost and financing. Mr. Speaker, the earthworks are now 97% complete. And the earthworks which remain to be done will be carried out without any real inconvenience to the parallel airside works. These earthworks are scheduled to be completed by the end of March 2015. Works on the Yambu River drainage systems are programmed for completion by the end of April 2015 to allow for the asphalt pavement works on that section of the runway to be done. The ongoing works on other drainage systems continue during 2014 and are substantially advanced. These are programmed to be completed by the end of the first quarter of this year. The pavement works have already commenced with the placement of base and sub-base for the runways, aprons, and taxiways. The asphalt pavement works and the concrete works on the aerodrome are programmed to be completed by the end of May 2015. The process of installing the airfield lighting has begun and is progressing well. And the wind studies continue. The data show thus far no crosswinds sufficient to affect the safe operation of the Argyle Airport for the smallest aeroplanes, that is, those whose reference field length is less than 1,200 meters. In the first half of 2015, the IADC will again provide all the up-to-date wind data and analysis for public information. Immense progress continues on the landside facilities. Mr. Speaker, the terminal building and electrical substation facilities were substantially complete by the end of December 2013 and were handed over to the IADC by the construction company, Overseas Engineering and Construction Company, OECC of Taiwan. Recently, the IADC entered into another contract with the OECC for additional works to the passenger terminal building, mainly to effect a modification to allow for the connection of two passenger boarding bridges. Meanwhile, all the equipment and furniture being procured by the IADC for the terminal building will arrive and be installed in time for airport operations to commence after June 2015. All the construction works on the control tower have been completed and the building was handed over to the IADC on December 15, 2014. Aeronav Incorporated of Canada will undertake the retrofitting of the control tower cabin and installation of the airfield navigational lights aids in the first quarter of 2015. The rescue and firefighting station was completed by the contractor and handed over to the IADC on December 18, 2014. IADC has also procured from Oshkosh in the USA 3 firefighting trucks and equipment. The cargo terminal is programmed to be completed and retrofitted by the third quarter in 2015. Further, IADC has allocated under concession contracts land space to three private firms to construct and operate aircraft hangars. Until this morning, I got a telephone call from one of these companies saying that their plans have been drawn and put into the planning department, and they expect them to come out soon for them to start building their hangars. IADC has also earmarked a parcel of land to be leased to a private firm for the construction of a fixed-based operation to provide specialized service to private jets and high net worth individuals. Construction work is ongoing on the access road to the passenger terminal and cargo terminal buildings, and to the public and commercial parking by the end of June 2015. So too the works on the Argyle Gardens roads and the Raraku Mount Pleasant Road. Landscaping work is likely to begin in the second quarter of 2015. In respect of the fuel facility, Rubis plans to complete construction by the end of June 2015. Mr. Speaker, several things can take place at the same time. Mr. Speaker, the marketing of the airport continues apace. Several airlines have expressed interest in adding St. Vincent and the Grenadines to their routes. Air service agreements are expected in the first half of 2015 with several of them. Similarly, plans have been elaborated for finalization in respect of the management of the airport. During the year 2014, the IADC hired 201 new Vincentian workers. Since August the 13th, 2008, the number of Vincentians employed directly by the IADC on this project has jumped from 53 to 393. Of these, 258 are daily paid field workers, 38 are domestics, and 67 are technical and administrative staff. There are 102 Cubans working on the airport project. Additionally, over the years, private contractors have in the aggregate employed hundreds of Vincentians. The 393 is direct employment, but there are other contracts which private sector had or have, and they employ in the aggregate hundreds of Vincentians. Further, since July 2013, the IADC has been hiring local trucks to assist with the transportation of soils, rocks, and aggregate, and heavy equipment also been hiring to assist with the earthworks. Up to December 14, 2014, the IADC hired 131 trucks and 5 pieces of heavy-duty equipment and has paid between July 2013 and December 14, 2014, nearly $6 million to the owners of these vehicles. Mr. Speaker, our government has earmarked $74.7 million of the capital budget for 2015 towards the completion of the airport's construction. One portion of this money is the remainder of the US $9.5 million, 25.6 million EC, long outstanding on the US $20 million sale of lands to Canoan developers, which I was reliably advised recently would be paid within 6 weeks or thereabouts. Delays in the timely receipt by the IADC of negotiated resources and excessively inclement weather certainly hamper the pace of construction. As always, our government makes contingency plans in the event of the delay in the drawdown of grants or soft loans. This has been a constant factor in the life of the airport's construction. We are never daunted, not even in the midst of ongoing difficulties, arising from the worst global economic crisis for 100 years, which has been raging since 2008. The estimated cost of the airport's construction has been put at US $270 million, or approximately $729 million. About 70 million US, or 189 million EC, of which represent in-kind contributions. Our government and people are grateful for the kind assistance from several countries, organizations, and financial institutions which have partnered with us on this venture. Our thanks also go out to contributions by civic groups and persons, including in the diaspora, who have made donations amounting to $790,639 in the aggregate.